These are just some of the plugins that I use that give me that old school feel, like the SP1200, S950, all those classic records by like Pete Rock, Marley Marl, DJ Premier, all those records from the early 90s that had that grit, you know, Wu-Tang. I'm gonna show you guys my personal favorites. All right, so check it out. Let's get a melody loop from Drums That Knock Volume 7. So this is the untouched loop. If you're in Ableton, I'm gonna show you a free plugin that's stock in Ableton that can give you that SP1200, S950, gritty, 12-bit kind of sound. There's a couple ways you can do it. One is Redux, which was recently changed in Ableton 11, updated. You have these two controls, rate and bits. So if we want that gritty sound, you could start by turning down rate. There you go. So that's how you get it real quick. And you can dial it in more specifically if you want to. That is close. It doesn't quite have the same exact sound as the SP1200 if you want like a replica of that sound, but it has the same ringing character. So I'd probably bring it around here. And you can turn down the bits. I find that turning down the bits just makes it kind of noisy. So that can help depending on what you're going for. And then you got jitter, which can sound cool. So Redux is one way to do it for free in Ableton. Then there's another plugin, Erosion, which I use a lot. There's three different types. There's noise, wide noise, and sine. Noise and wide noise, not really the same effect. It just adds some noise to it. I like that on certain things, but sine is the one that adds that bit crushing, you know, S950, SP1200 kind of sound. Kind of like Redux, you can select what frequency you want that bit crushing sound to go to. It's different for different records, but I find Erosion is a real easy way to dial in that sound. The other plugin, waveTracing SP950. This is emulating the S950 and the SP1200. SP1200, I don't know about the S950, I think the same goes for that, but those units were mono. So there was no stereo available. So by default, this is set to mono sum. For me, in modern times, I don't find there's any reason to sum it down to mono. Like, I'll show you. So with mono sum on, it kills the stereo channel. So I set it to stereo by default. Opens up the sound. I feel like it's better. If you're going for that authentic sound, keep it on mono, but you know, it's modern times. As you turn down this fader, it's differentiating between the speed that you sampled it into the SP1200. So as you turn it down, it's like you sampled it at 45 RPM or double time or 78 RPM. To actually sample on the SP1200, you have to get it right when you're playing the record or playing your sample on your computer. This just makes it so easy. I don't know if this is an exact replica of the SP. I had the SP in my other studio. I never actually compared them side by side, but I compared some sounds that I sampled off of the SP12 that was in my studio. It sounds really close. So check it out. As I turn down this fader, you'll hear what it does. So that's the different sounds you can get. 45 would probably be the classic sound that most people would use because that's what they were sampling into it at most of the time. Since this replicates the SP1200 and the S950 by Emu and Akai, they have this filter that you can use that models the S950. So it just has like this warm analog sounding filter that you can cut out some of that stuff from. So that's another plugin that I like for that bit crushing SP1200 sound. This is a classic. You could use either Decimort 1 or Decimort 2. Great plugin. Just turn it down. I think the jitter might sound a little better in this plugin. I might be biased because of the GUI. You can select a filter type. You got a dry wet on this one too, that's cool. RC20, which can give you that gritty sound. Let's try it out. We got digital. Actually, RC20, I'll be honest, I've been sleeping on it in terms of getting that SP1200, SP12 sound. What I like about RC20 with the digital, you can smooth it out. That's pretty fire. So instead of getting that super gritty Bitcrush sound, you can smooth it out and do the dry wet. You can do the focus. Oh yeah, I think RC20 might be the most flexible out of all the plugins I showed for that effect. Again, shout out to XLN Audio, not sponsored. So those are some of my favorite plugins for that bit crushing SP1200, SP12, old school sampler. Any others that you guys like?